welcome to Mamamia Out Loud. It's what women are actually talking about on Friday, the 3rd of October. I'm Holly Wainwright.
I'm Jessie Stevens.
And I'm Em Vernon.
And here's what's on our agenda for today. There's a new etiquette guide that is supposedly for modern gentlemen, but some of it is very useful, some of it is a bit annoying, and some of it borders on the problematic. We unpack.
Plus, Gen Z are having sex in public places and they're not having a good time with it. They're struggling.
And today we've got for you some of our favourite recommendations of the year that we have waited literal months to tell you all about.
Did you know the Caesar salad was created in Mexico and has now been reinvented by GYG? Made with free-range grilled chicken, crunchy cos lettuce, their gourmet Caesar dressing, jack cheese, and GYG's famous crushed corn chips. All you have to do is shake it to make it. How fun.
But first,
Do you need an invisible day?
yes.
I like the sound of that. If you're feeling anxious or angry or disconnected or quite overwhelmed by the news, a therapist named Jennifer Chaikin says you need a day to totally disappear from public life. So what are the rules of an invisible day? Well, you've got to put it in your calendar. You've got to schedule your invisible day. So let's say we go Sunday is going to be my invisible day. You have to tell people that you're having one. Because what you don't want is for the people you would ordinarily be in contact with to panic and call the police, and then the police ruin your invisible day. So you've got to say, I'm not going to be answering my phone.
Hold on. So the premise of this is that on a normal Sunday, you would be in contact with loads of people. So therefore, if you decide to not be on your phone that day, a lot of people will notice.
Yes, and imagine you are just like pulling out the metaphorical plug. And also you might need to say to your partner, maybe you've got children. It's very hard to be invisible when you have children around. So you might have to say, hey, I'm going invisible on Sunday. You sort the kids out.
Oh, so it's in real life
Yeah.
invisible as
Yeah.
well as
Yeah.
digitally invisible.
Yes, Holly. So these
See, I'm midlife. I'm quite good at being invisible already.
Well, you have to work out what would feel good for you. So this is part of your planning. What does your invisible day look like? Maybe you can go for a walk. You can eat whatever you want. You can do some painting. You can watch Netflix in bed, whatever. You're invisible, so there's no judgment. You get to rest, you get to sleep, but you need to just not communicate with anyone. That means no phone. It means no email. It means no social media and no checking the news. And it's about listening to no one's needs except your own. So like you are just, imagine you've got your Harry Potter invisibility cloak and you're just hiding. What do we think? Em, are you into an invisible day?
I feel like because I live alone, it's quite easy for me to have invisible days on weekends because I just stay inside and no one's there anyway. I think what will be really hard for me is the phone aspect, not having my phone on and having to tell like my parents and my family and friends, hey, I'm going to have an invisible day. But I also be offended if I don't tell anyone and I turn my phone off, then turn my phone on the next day and I have no notifications.
That's so true, actually.
I don't like that.
I have this feeling when I'm starting to feel very, very tired and probably a bit burnt out where I fantasize about laying on my bedroom floor, head down, face first, just like maybe under my bed and just disappearing a bit. And I think that what I am craving in that moment, it's like a visceral craving of an invisible day. And I think that the phone element is very telling. That often when we try and unplug, we're still just like communicating.
I know. I love being visible. I've talked about before how one of the reasons why I'm very resistant to the idea of being tracked, you know, like being on your partner's Find My or whatever, is there's something that sometimes I need to do where I am just invisible. Like what I'm eating, where I'm going, where I'm spending my time. Like it's nobody's business. And it's like, for me, that's very recharging.
Yeah.
I can't. So, and I do that quite often. I mean, obviously not with family and stuff, like my house is full of people. But if I do get a chance, let's say Brent's taking the kids away for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Going invisible for a weekend is not hard for me. Not hard for me at all. Like I'd just be like not really answering the group chats.
But doesn't the idea of an invisible
love
day
it.
for both of you, because both of your jobs are so reliant on being across the news cycle, if you go invisible for a day, doesn't that give you more work the next day?
Yeah, but what you do is, well, this is what I do, and Jessie can tell us what she does, is say I want a Sunday where I basically do want to be offline as much as I can. I know that night I'm going to need to go online and scour and check and put some ideas in and just make sure nothing terrible's happened. But I can be offline for a few hours. Like, it's okay.
And it doesn't freak you out.
Not at all. Like, if something really big happens, which often it does, like it will find its way to you. But I think I would not have been able to do this job for as long as I've done it if I didn't feel like I could have a few hours away from it sometimes.
And
Don't you think?
yeah, that's the thing, is that they also say
Sunday nights I have to go back
you can
online,
have an invisible
to be clear.
half day. So if you feel exhausted at work and you're like, you know what, I just need 5 till 8 to just disappear for a little while, you can also just do that. But in reading about this, I came across this concept called the window of tolerance, and it's the ideal range of emotional and physiological arousal when a person can think clearly. So we all have this window of tolerance, and it's used a lot in therapy and psychology around trauma, because your window of tolerance can be very, very small and you can become really like hyper aroused really, really quickly. And basically these therapists were saying that the window of tolerance has been shrinking for a lot of us due to outside stresses, due to not properly resting. And it made me think about those periods in your life where you feel as though you just don't have a lot of bandwidth and you feel as though one tiny thing can set you off because your tolerance is at an all-time low, and how having a day to regulate, even a few hours to regulate, just means that window is wider so that you're of better use to people around you.
Okay, we've been talking a lot lately on the show in different ways about how nobody knows how to behave anymore. And I feel
Except we've been telling people how to behave.
We've been telling people how to behave. We've done a few subsets about modern etiquette, and we've done them from the perspective of XYZ, like generations XYZ. And people love, on Mamamia's site and on various places, people love an etiquette guide, even now, because it's like, can we just agree on some basic rules? Seems to be the vibe, right? There was one that came out last week that was specifically for men that I immediately became obsessed with. It was from GQ. It was called The Gentleman's Guide to Etiquette. Do you need me to bring you up to speed quickly about what GQ is, people?
Yes, please.
It's like
It's
a men's magazine, but not a porny one.
No, so GQ,
but with less
Yes.
One that we can read too.
Yeah.
Gentleman's Quarterly. It is nearly 100 years old.
It stands for Gentleman's Quarterly.
Yeah. So it's called GQ, but it was originally called Gentleman's Quarterly.
I didn't know
And
that.
they're like, we haven't been doing our job. You men are all over the place.
Yeah. And it has been around for nearly 100 years.
Wow.
It's Condé Nast, so it's like quite high status, glossy mag. Back in the day, I mean, no magazines are that, thick and glossy and fabulous anymore. But back in the day, GQ is a big deal. And being the editor of GQ is a big deal. There have been lots of famous editors of GQ. And it's published in the UK. It's published in the US. There's an Australian version. The UK one is the coolest. Don't at me. Anyway, I think it's the American one that have published this etiquette guide. And so if you went to GQ now, the kind of things you'd find in there would be lots of stuff about watches, like cool watches and which celebrities are wearing the really rare watches.
How about what protein I should take?
Definitely protein information.
How to biohack my sleep.
And there would be like preppy sneaker guides and there'd be interviews with male movie stars and there'd be headlines like why leftists are suddenly lifting more weights and why you should consider a swag gap relationship and other such things, right? So it's a men's mag.
Okay.
But so the American one has published this big etiquette guide called 125 Rules for the Modern Gentleman. And it's like crowdsourced. They've got a little panel of people, including a woman. Ava DuVernay is on there. And they have got their rules and manners in place. I want to share a few to see what you think. Because I don't think these are just for men, to be honest. I think some of them are like, yes, please adopt these men. But some of them we could all live by. Take out your AirPods when you're talking to someone. Muting does not count.
I actually think that's very true.
I like this one, and I sent it to a few men in our office because there have been times where I've approached them and not only have they not taken them out, but they've actually put them in. Like, that's mean.
That's mean. We should not be able to smell you unless we are embracing you. That's about fragrance, not body odor. Like how much fragrance you're wearing. I think that's quite a good rule.
That's a good rule of thumb for all of us.
For women too, right? Because when you walk past someone and you get that blast in your face.
Sometimes I like it though. I go, oh, that's lovely.
Sometimes it's my dad overdoes the cologne
Really?
sometimes. We'll be in like family, like in the car as a family, and I'll be like, Dad, I have to put the windows down. It's too much. And he'll be like, that's so mean. You always say this about my cologne.
So the rule is if I'm hugging you, I can smell it. Otherwise, no.
And it has to be like a nice, like, ooh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Little
This is a
tingle.
good one, I think, for everybody. Never say, I've already seen this when someone sends you a funny post.
Yeah, I
What do
do.
you think about
I'm
that?
guilty of that.
Yes.
I'm guilty.
Also, I want to add something to that because I've noticed when I like sharing funny posts with people,
Yeah.
I've noticed my girlfriends, when they share something with me, they share it because they think I will find it funny. When men share something with me, they share it because they find it funny.
Oh.
That's so true.
You have to cater to the person you're sending it
That's
to.
interesting. I like this, particularly for men, but maybe for all of us. Never raise, actually, this wouldn't work in my house. Never raise your voice at someone unless there's an emergency.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, no shouting. We're not shouting. I want to ask you about some of the dating stuff, Em, but I also want to get to the one that I saw some controversial headlines about. They said this: greet people you know with a single kiss on the left cheek. Unless you're in a business setting or meeting someone for the first time, in which case stick with a handshake. If you sense someone going in for a hug, embrace it. Now, I saw some people grabbing that and going, oh my God, GQ just told all the men to kiss all the women.
Oh.
And we don't want you coming at us with your kisses.
Okay, can I?
Well, how do we feel, broadly speaking, about the single kiss on the left cheek?
Okay. On Friday, last Friday, I had a little bit of work I had to do. So I went to a cafe on my own to get this work done. Glorious. To make it even better, there was a date happening next to me, right? And there was a man sitting there waiting, and then the woman showed up. And he stood and he was clearly nervous. It was delightful. He stood up and then he kissed her on one cheek. She went to pull away. He went to kiss her on the other cheek.
Did they kiss on the lips?
And then no, but it was awkward. And she went, oh, and he said, it's a bit European. And she said, are you European? And he said, no. And I wanted
that's the most awkward
to
thing
die.
that has ever
So this man needed to kiss her once on the left cheek. And
Yeah.
I thought, this is why we write these guides, because we just need a clear rule.
But what about men? So
But
you
he
go
doesn't know her, right? Like, because this one of the things that greet people you know with a single cheek. Should you greet people you don't know
If
with a
you're
kiss?
meeting
I think
for
he
a
knows her. I
date,
think that counts.
There is something about shaking the hand of a grown man
No.
in a situation that isn't professional that makes me feel uncomfortable. Like, what are you meant to do? Part of me thinks that actually going in for like a hug or an embrace is more intimate.
No, I think I like the kiss on the
I
cheek,
like the kiss
especially
on
if
the
you're
cheek.
meeting like friends and they're introducing to people. I think always kiss on the cheek. I just want all men to do this because I have seen so many men who get up to greet a woman and you can see the dread in their eyes because
Yes.
they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
They freak out. I've had a guy who had his hand crushed between a woman's stomach and his stomach. I've like hugged a guy and I just had all my foundation on his like shirt.
Yes,
I don't want to
yes.
be doing that. Meet me at my level. Peck me on the cheek.
I need
It's fine.
clarity, right? You're meeting someone for the first time. So you're on a date like the people in Jessie's cafe.
Yeah.
If you're waiting for your date to turn up, when he turns up, are you expecting that he will greet you with a kiss on the cheek?
Yes.
It's a kiss on the cheek. It is absolutely a kiss on the cheek.
Okay, because
Because we would have been talking for about like a week or 2
Yeah.
weeks. And they're like big, like I'm chatting to a guy right now. We're sending like 5 messages per convo. So
We're all grown
I
up.
know who you are by now.
Okay, because I have an unpopular opinion about this. I'm not prudish about it. I don't mind it at all. But sometimes, like, you'll go to a barbecue or something, right? And all your friends' partners are there and there's a lot of men, there's a lot of women. You can spend 10 minutes on all the going around kissing everybody. Like, hi. And then you might not talk to them again for the rest of the day. And I'm like, do we all have to kiss?
No. Okay.
Do we have to kiss?
But you can't like kiss like 80% and there's just one guy you're just
That's
avoiding.
that you refuse to kiss.
What if
can't do that.
I know him better, so I'll kiss him?
Okay,
I've only met
firstly-
him twice. I'm not kissing him.
The image I'm getting is of Holly Wainwright high-fiving people. I can't get it out of my head. It's Holly walking into a barbecue and just going, high five.
Put it here, boys.
But I think that's about efficiency, right? Is it? And you can see sometimes the dread in people's eyes when someone walks in, they're like, I'm going to do the kisses. And everyone's like, they get in a line and it's like everyone fucking
And you
hates
always
this.
end up stepping on their feet.
Yeah. And then you go, oh, now I'm going to go. And everyone's like, no. And you're like, kiss. And then you have to do it all again. Like, that's not fun for anyone. I think you can do a wave. Just like a, hi, guys. Like, hi, nice to see you all.
Don't need to do all the individual
Don't need
kissing.
to do all the individual kissing.
I would think I've done something wrong if you've just waved to me.
Are there any men who shouldn't kiss you? Like, I mean, once on the left cheek. Are there any men like in your world, like the people who are upset about this information being out there and seeing it as invitations for men to just come and kiss?
I think any corporate setting.
Yeah.
I think anything that
And
even
then walk into a boardroom meeting and kiss everyone on the cheek.
Any work setting, any situation like that, absolutely not. I think that we've got to be as gender neutral in the office as possible. There was another one that I thought was, because this comes down to chivalry, right? Which I do think is an awkward social tension at this moment.
An unpopular word.
And an unpopular word. But there is something about rules and guidelines and responsibilities that do make people feel safe.
Yeah.
And how do you explain to young men that, you know, if you've got sons, one day they're probably going to be stronger than their mum. So how do you explain to them that helping the woman next to you on the plane to put their carry-on up is a kind thing to do, right? Or the one that was one of the rules, which I thought was really good, and the other one was
the rule to always help with the carry-on?
Yeah.
That's a great rule.
I really like
I want that
rule.
on a t-shirt.
I
next
think
time
I
get on
fall
a
in
plane.
love with every man who I see do that.
It's so nice because it's like you're taller and you're stronger generally.
And their shirt lifts up a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt
and they
anyone.
go, I've got it. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
for
see
doing
their
that.
biceps protrude.
And the other one, men who help you with the pram. Oh my gosh. Like I'm with stairs or whatever, and a man will often, he'll just go, can I give you a hand with that? And just gets it. And you go, thank you so much. But the one that they said, which was interesting, was about holding the door open. And it was, again, gender neutral. Man, woman, as long as it's a reasonable time, hold the door open for someone. And I was like, interesting.
What's a reasonable time though? I think we've discussed this on an etiquette guide.
I think we discussed it in a subscriber episode, and I think somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds.
Okay.
I think
the reason why chivalry has become tricky is because people love to weaponize chivalry, right? Like you will hear men say things like, oh, you can't even hold a door open for a woman anymore. And I'm like, I have never complained about having a door held open for me, but I have complained, or at least certainly internally complained, about sexist comments, the way that you looked at my boobs instead of my face, all of those kind of things. Like women understand, we intrinsically understand when people are treating you with respect or when people are treating you with disdain. And very few women that I have ever met would complain about anyone holding a door open for them.
I've complained about going out to dinner with a man who insists on paying, but then subtly uses that later to trick you into having sex with them.
Yes.
It's like I can see that transaction being used, but you're not allowed to insist on paying for my dinner and then expect anything in return.
That's exactly right. So that's the other thing is like, men we have to pay for dinner, so you like some bits of chivalry and not others. And it's, again, women understand, in my experience, when somebody is giving us something to get something. Yeah. Anyway, back to dating.
One of my favourites, and I just think we need this on the record for all our male listeners. And I'm sorry, but it is men. We don't like to discriminate, but it is. Always sneeze as if you're at a library or a funeral.
I love it. Yes.
I was reading this morning and I was downstairs getting a coffee and a man sneezed and I thought it was an emergency. Like I thought that we needed to call the police because someone had broken into the building.
Why do they do that?
Why do they do that?
You know what I think we should do when we hear a loud sneeze? Stand up and clap. Because that's essentially what they want. They want us to clap
want
for them.
acknowledgement.
I hate to tell you this, but also men's sneezes get louder as they get older. And there are women in my world who the sneeze has been the catalyst that pushed them out of the door.
Because you know what?
They're
It's
like,
obnoxious.
I can't live with this
It's
anymore.
selfish. It's my dad sneezes make literally the walls shake. And it's like, you think everyone should have to listen to your sneeze.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you at least try to make it a little quieter? There is a sense of entitlement about the sneeze that I think represents a lot of other things.
I love that one. I've got some other dating ones I want to ask you. Be unambiguous when asking someone out. Suggest dinner, not drinks or coffee. We've talked about this, whether that's okay or not. Imply that you'll pay. And differentiate this hang from any previous hangs, ideally with a compliment. I always love running into you. Can I take you to dinner sometime?
Aww.
Thoughts?
Oh, I like that.
I nearly cried happy tears when I read this because I feel like when it comes to dating, it's like you both have preferences of what you like and what you don't like when it comes to chivalry, but you don't mention it yet because it's too early. So then you both play like kind of this political game of what you both deem is like acceptable social norms. So you come into the date now, and I feel like I've been on dates with men who really struggle with this, where they have offered to pay, and if I don't want to see them again, that's usually when I suggest, can we split the bill? Because I don't want to owe them something. And then they kind of go, oh, yeah, of course, like we can split. And it's always this weird transaction where they're trying to do what they think is the quote unquote right thing, and then it's like society or like me going, no, I actually want to pay, or like, no,
and they're going, but it said I had to insist.
Yeah, it said I had to insist, and I'm trying to do that. Or they're like, oh, do you want the boot seat? And I was like, no, because I know my bum won't fit through those two little tables, so you take the boot seat. And then they're like, oh, okay, are you sure you don't? Like, it's so weird now. Like, it's getting really political in dating.
I have a question for you. This one came up. I really liked it. This was in the dating section. The what exactly are we doing here conversation should happen somewhere around the 5th date.
Ooh.
And basically you've got to answer it.
And I think they should initiate it. I think they need to be, because I'm always the one initiating it, and then I get broken up with. And I'm like, damn it, we could have had another 3 more dates.
And there were moments where I was like, it has been 7 months.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's appropriate for
like
me
8
to.
months, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel. I'm like, what do you mean?
What do you think about the 5 date suggestion there, though? So 5 dates is enough time for it to be entirely acceptable for one or both of the parties to go, what is this?
I agree 5 dates, because if you go on a date a week, that's essentially a month. You're a month in.
Yeah.
Surely that gives you grounds of like whether you want to keep seeing me or not.
Yeah. What do you think about this? It's uncouth to show your friends someone else's dating profile. Those are meant to be seen by people on the app and people on the app only, not your boys after you've had 3 drinks at the bar, or even worse, screenshotted and shared with strangers online. Don't break the contract of mutual vulnerability. Mate, you show me a lot of dating profiles. Well, not a lot, but if I ask, you'll show me.
But I feel like I show dating profiles in a way like, look how cute this guy is. This is what he looks like.
Yeah, you're never mean.
No.
That's actually a good point. I thought taking it out of context was interesting, because I've seen some friends say, oh, I saw one of your friends on a dating app and shown me, and I feel as though I'm seeing them in their underwear.
Like, it's very vulnerable.
That I go, that wasn't designed for me, and they deserve some privacy in this context. I also liked this one. Stop walking 3 feet ahead of your partner.
You know, Brent does this. Like, he walks fast and he always walks ahead of me, and it drives me crazy. Like, we go walking together every day.
And then they get irritated.
And then I'm like, hey, I'm back here. And he's like, oh, sorry. Like,
you have to walk next to your partner, and you have to be on the roadside, so if a car comes, you can save them.
that was in here too. It said actually, so that it's interesting, because I see that as a bit of an old-fashioned chivalrous move. But in here it did say, sorry, I know it might be a bit old-fashioned, but you have to be on that side.
Yeah.
And I thought, shit, am I supposed to tell my boy about that? Am I supposed to tell him about that?
I think it's kind of nice.
I think when they do it quietly, it's sexy. When I was the last person I dated, he did this in a quiet way, where we'd be walking the street and he'll just like slowly walk behind me and walk on the other side. So sexy.
Oh,
that is hot.
That is hot.
Yeah, but if they're pushing you out of the way, being like, I'm on the roadside, it's like, that's not that hot.
Get off the road. We're like, no yelling. We told you.
I have an age gap one that I need to ask Jessie about, because she has opinions.
Yeah.
The age gap rule for adults, this is for adults, remember, used to be that men shouldn't date below half your age plus 7. We like, say GQ, half your age plus 10. Hey, nothing's inflation proof, they joke. We can call this the gentleman's age gap, and no, your metabolic age doesn't count.
So I worked out, it took me literally 24 hours to do the maths on this, but I was like, I think I broke this rule at the beginning, but I have got in the clear as the years have gone on. I think now if I'm 34, then that means I could date a 22-year-old.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
That does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Luca's 28.
Oh, yeah,
so I'm
you're
like, oh my
safe.
goodness, it's totally fine. Yeah, did it look bad? Like at the beginning, maybe a little bit, but the thing about age is you generally get older. So
I've been dating younger recently, because everyone my age and older all have kids, and I'm like, oh, I actually don't know what to do with that.
yeah, well, you've not caught them at their first divorce yet,
Yeah.
so you've got to wait.
I've got to wait it out.
Yeah.
So half your age plus 7 for like men in their 40s.
Plus
so-
10, they said.
Oh, plus 10, that's right.
Which doesn't make, because like I'm
44, a 44-year-old divorcee
Yeah.
in this rule would be, we're so bad at maths, all of us.
32.
32.
Mine would be like 25.
Yeah. So you're allowed to do 25. Have you ever done younger than 25?
I've done younger than 25. I've done 23.
Oh, she's broken the gentleman's age gap.
I met a 19-year-old in a club recently.
Oh, that's a bit of fun.
It scared me.
Was it good
It scared me. He was very into it. And I was like, no. Do not make me that woman in your life.
There was one I really liked, which was when someone you know has a baby, arrange to send them dinner one night during the first month. And the reason I liked that one is because I thought about all the social rules that have passed through generations of women because we're socialized to communicate and to almost share that kind of etiquette. Like I've just learned from osmosis from watching my mum what you're kind of meant to do. And what was really cool about that one is I thought their fathers probably didn't do that or didn't know you were meant to do that.
That's true.
And it's a nice generational shift to think that men will now go, oh, my mate who's just had a baby, I'm actually going to do something. And they said the same thing applies for illness or if someone's in hospital, just one dinner. And I was like, that's nice.
Kind.
This one is crucial. In the summer, take 2 showers a day.
Yep, completely agree.
Yes.
Morning and night.
Yeah, it's a 2-shower situation.
Don't get into bed
Would you
dirty.
take 2 showers a day in the summer?
Yeah.
I am a morning shower. I think we've discussed this before. You're a nighttime shower, aren't you, Jessie?
I do both. I do get night sweats. Because of my night sweats, I do have to have a morning shower. And then I also, you got to be nice and clean when you get into bed.
I'm a morning shower, so I do definitely get into bed dirty. But in the summer, I appreciate this one in that, like, if I'm going out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm showering in the morning like normal, but then I'm showering again later if I'm going out doing something.
I wanted to point out rule number 68. No man who doesn't post for work should have a public Instagram.
That is a really controversial rule.
Do you think?
I had never considered that there was something ungentlemanly or unmasculine, whatever that means, about men having social media.
I instinctively agree with it. And I've heard
But it's wrong. Like,
I've heard Em say public Instagrams are for the girls.
What if they enjoy it?
That's just the rules, Holly.
I struggle with that. I want to know if Outlouders think that's true. Like, if a man enjoys like the sharing, like so many men on
if you're
Facebook,
sharing
does
photos
this apply
of
to
me-
Facebook too?
No one knows what they're doing with their settings on Facebook. I feel like Brent's definitely public on Facebook.
Oh my God, Brent is definitely public. But like I'd never considered it before. It's very interesting to me. Now I'm going to see it everywhere. I'm going to be like, oh, he's got a public Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah.
Block. Outlouders, I need to know if you agree.
Guys, Gen Z don't know where to have sex. It's really stressing us out.
What's been going on?
Okay, so Love Honey did a survey and they found that 40% of the respondents who were aged between 18 and 24 were living with their parents. I have a lot of friends who either still live with their parents or had to move back in with their parents. And a lot of them are over the age of 24 as well. So Gen Z have had to get a bit creative with where they're having sex. A lot of them have said that they're now having sex in public places. Most of them said that they've been having sex in public bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
Stop it. They're not hygienic. What's wrong with cars? Young people have been having sex in cars for many years. I guess you can't. Cars are expensive.
Holly, we
cost
can't
of living
afford
crisis.
cars.
No, I was going to say this is part of the cost of living crisis. Now the payment for it is that we have to watch out what we touch in bathrooms.
You want
even
us to
more
be
than
hiring
before.
a go-get to have sex? We can't be doing that.
That's a whole other thing.
It's too much.
If you're doing that.
When you guys were teenagers, how were you getting creative in getting a bit sexy?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I did a call out to the Outlouders.
Oh.
There's some dirty gals among our Outlouders. And we did an anonymous poll and we said, where is the weirdest place where you've had sex in public? And the interesting detail I kept see coming up was when they were around this age. So 19, 20, 21, it was public parks.
Yeah.
Lots of car parks. Like in cars, car parks. And the other one that was probably the most popular was the cinema. Like towards the back.
Cinemas have cameras.
Do they?
Yeah.
But it's dark.
Yeah.
No, they have cameras because I'm watching you because I'm checking to see if you're filming the movie. So then they come with their little torch.
You know a lot of things.
Really?
And the person coming with a little torch is usually another teenager.
Somebody said supermarket.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
I wonder which aisle.
I know which aisle was
aisle's the
arousing
sexiest?
you exactly.
Surely the
Hopefully
cheese-
it was
the
the
cheese
condom
aisle.
Hopefully. For safe sex purposes, I hope it was the condom and lube section. And then some people said in a fire truck. There's a story there. There's a really exciting story there. a church. That's a bit kinky. I don't
A church,
know.
a graveyard came up as well.
Feels like I'm making a statement.
Hotel balcony, that makes sense. Paddocks of a winery.
Another one that came up a lot, and I want us to sort of dissect this as a team, because as you say, not everyone has a car.
Yeah.
So what do they need to get? An Uber. Now, a lot of people, taxis and Ubers. We did discuss in our
Really?
etiquette guide a little while ago.
What are the drivers doing while that's happening?
I feel like a lot of these responses, though, it's not much. I need to have sex because there's nowhere else for me to have sex, and it's more voyeurism.
Yeah, so I think there's two different types of public sex,
Yes.
right? So there's public sex as a necessity. And the other week I was walking across Hyde Park in the middle of Sydney, like at sort of 5 o'clock-ish, and there was this couple under a tree, sunny evening, like really, I don't think they were having sex, but they were really going for it. And I remember thinking, and then like, ooh, and then, but it took me back very viscerally to times in my life where I didn't have anywhere to go to have sex because of flatmates, because you're sleeping on someone's couch, because whatever. And like I was traveling or whatever, and that there was a very visceral need. You were seeing somebody and you're physically obsessed with each other and you're young and you're hot and everything. That there's that kind of public sex, which is just like, and no one can see us. It's almost like you think you're invisible like an ostrich with their head in the sand. Like no one can tell what we're doing and everyone can tell what you're doing. But then there's public sex for the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
The borderline, we might get caught.
Yeah,
And
so the
that's-
hotel balcony,
yeah.
that came up a lot, and someone said it would be easier for me to list where I haven't had public sex. Like she's like,
well, because it's some people's kink too.
it's their kink, right? But the time when I've seen the most public sex has been traveling. So if you go
Yes,
to
young
Italy
people.
or Greece and you go, you know what, you're staying at a hostel in a bunk bed.
Yeah.
Both of you are. You don't know what to do. So you are currently on a beach lounge on a pebbled beach, and it's dark, but it's not that dark. And we can hear you and see you and whatever, but you just go, fine. You guys have fun. And that's totally fine. But I was reading about Japan, because in Japan they have something called love hotels. Have you heard of this?
That's by the hour, right?
Yes.
Or
So
by the 15 minutes.
you don't want to pay for an hour and then be like, oh, can I have a refund? Amelia told me about it. So basically there are more than 37,000 of these love hotels all over Japan. And the reason why they're so big in Japan is because of multi-generational living.
Yes.
And the close quarters, lots of apartment buildings with really, really thin walls. So it is totally customary that you, are going out on a date and that you would book a love hotel afterwards.
There's another market who need this, and that is, we touched on it the other week, but it's parents with teenage kids at home, right? Because once your kids stop going to bed at a certain time and they're just wandering around the house at all hours, and people's houses are small and you've got thin walls and all those things, there are no times to have sex in your own home. So I feel like the middle-aged people also want the love hotels.
Also, you know who else needs them? Are people having affairs. And I wonder if they are often forced into public sex, because it's like you can't go to your marital bed. That would be disrespectful.
Well, that's what cars are for, obviously, and also why in every American movie you always get busted having an affair because your car is in the motel car park.
But
Yes.
the Gen Zs not being able to afford living by themselves or living with roommates out of home, it's actually affecting me even though I live alone. When you're living with your parents, and even if you're an adult in your 30s, you still have to tell them that you're going out to have sex and then come back. And there's something so unsexy with a 27-year-old saying my parents aren't home.
Yeah. It's Friday, so we want to help set up your weekend with our best recommendations. We have enough recommendations to last you a few months, I think.
We do.
This is the lead up to Christmas, some might say.
It's the week that all the books come out.
Holly, please explain why it is that this kind of first week of October, we've got a Sally Hepworth, we've got a Trent Dalton, we've got a Clare Stevens, we've got a Jane Harper. Why are they all dropping?
So September, October is the big league of book release. So there are a few times during the year when people release books, when the publishing houses release books, and they're all jostling for a bit of airtime for starters, but also the lead up to Christmas is really big. So in Britain, it's actually called Super Thursday, and it's the second Thursday in October when all the big guns will all come out, and then they will all jostle to be the number one Christmas book, right? We're not quite like that here, but the last week of September, because books are always released, you won't know this unless you know this, books are always released on the last Tuesday of the month. So my last book came out in the last Tuesday of April, and the reason for that is it was a lead up to Mother's Day release. That's also quite a good window for what they call women's fiction. So that's quite a good window, but the next really good window is now, which is lead up to summer reading, holiday reading, gifting, all those things. Give people a reason to read to buy a book. And what generally happens is, the really big names, your Jane Harpers and your big international authors are going to go a little bit later, closer to Christmas, because they can afford to hold on a little bit. And then this week is when all the big books come out, and then they're all jostling. So we're going to talk about some books that we read ages ago that are coming out this week and whether they are worth your time. Obviously, the recommendations that we're giving you are all worth your time, and one of them is somebody very close to home.
Yes.
But I want to take, do you want me to take Sally? Do you want me to take Mad Mabel?
Mad Mabel, one of my favourite books of the year. Please take it away.
Also, can I say, excellent cover.
Yes. So
Such a
Sally
good cover.
Hepworth has become without question, one of Australia's biggest writers, biggest authors, friend of the pod. Hi, Sal. She writes, when you ask Sally what kind of books she writes, because it's one of the hardest questions to answer as an author, I think, especially what kind of books do you read? People always ask you that when you say I'm a writer. What kind of books do you write? I don't know. Good ones. Anyway, Sally says she writes about dysfunctional families with the side of murder. Yeah. And that is what all Sally's books are, and they are all brilliant, and I know Outlouders already love them. But the thing is Sal for ages was on a one book a year. She was always had a book out. So everyone had all the Sallys, loads, you knew every year you were going to get a Sally. And then the last couple of years, she's left us hanging.
She did an Adele.
She decided she needed a bit more time. And so Mad Mabel, I feel like there's even more like anticipation for it because we've been a bit starved of Sal. So very top line, Mad Mabel is about it's fiction obviously, and as her books are, is about the youngest woman to be convicted of murder in Australia, and it's now visiting Mad Mabel, as she was called in the press, as a much older woman, an elderly woman looking back at her life, right?
Whoa.
In the first pages of the book, just the voice of this character is so stark, and she's so funny and cutting and interesting. And as Sally always does, there's a hook on every page. You're like, oh, I can't believe what's going to happen next. It's so great.
It's so great. I raced through it. Absolutely loved it. Mad Mabel. And the other one, Holly, that you wanted to recommend is Trent Dalton's new one.
Trent Dalton's new one, Gravity Let Me Go. Now, again, Australian treasure, Trent Dalton. Everybody loves Trent. And his books ever since, obviously, Boy Swallows Universe are always a major event. And he's done nonfiction in that time. He's done love stories and so on. This is a novel. It is great. It's a murder mystery, but it's got the character. He says it's his most personal ever, and you can totally see that. The main character in this is a crime writer from Brisbane. All Trent's books are set in suburban Brisbane. It's like the suburbs are living and breathing and the pavements are hissing through the pages. But it's a true crime writer who's had a big hit with this unsolved murder book. And that's really interesting. And the plot runs through the book of like what really happened with that and who did that murder and that stuff. So there's that. But also it's about the effect of this obsession on the writer, which is very much a Trent Dalton-esque character. He's got a wife and 2 teenage kids, and the effect of his sort of, as he writes it, his self-obsession of disappearing into this story and becoming so obsessed with it and what that's done to his marriage, to his wife, his kids. One day his wife just stops talking, just wakes up and just stops talking. And it's like a really interesting meditation on long-term relationships, what women will put up with, what our obsession with our work and our status can do to our families, as well as just having all of the charm that his writing always does and this really good mystery at the centre of it. So I loved it. And I would highly recommend both of those two. Also great presents.
Can't wait to read Trent's. Look, my recommendation is my twin sister, Clare Stevens. Her book was officially published this week. It is called The Worst Thing I've Ever Done. And anyone in the public eye, and there's a lot of people in the public eye who got an early copy of this book, and they have just messaged her and gone, oh my God, you got it. Like, you absolutely nailed it. She got this incredible endorsement from Tim Minchin, who said that she wades barefooted and open-hearted into the toxic swamp of psychopathic social justice bullying and emerges with a moving and entertaining tale for our times. You may presume the online madness is exaggerated. Trust me, it ain't. And that's exactly right. It's an unflinching look at digital media, which I think will make us all feel a bit uncomfortable because it is so, so close.
It is very close.
It's about the experience of public shaming and the way the internet refuses to forgive, but then also the grace and love we show in our private lives. It is just outstanding. The reviews, the feedback have been amazing. You have to go and read it.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know there'll be people listening to this who go, you know all those people, but it's like these are the books you're going to be seeing everywhere.
Yeah.
And they are all worth your time.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clare Stevens, she's been doing a lot.
She's been a busy gal.
It's been a very Clare Stevens-ish kind of time.
Yeah. She was on No Filter this week.
On No Filter.
Yeah.
Her on same day as No Filter on Monday, her podcast, The Pylon, dropped with 2 episodes with Hannah Ferguson, who's the co-founder and CEO of Cheek Media. And I think this podcast goes really well with the book she's just written. And I have my copy and I'm waiting for the long weekend so I can read it. So no spoilers. But I just forgot how much I loved Claire's interviewing style. Even when she was editor here at Mamamia and a boss, like I remember like we'd just be in these like pitch meetings and the way she would explain stories was just so well done and so thoughtful. And I listened to both of these. So she dropped the first 2 episodes with Hannah Ferguson and I listened to both of them back to back because it was just so, so good. And I was really nervous to listen to it because with these podcasts where it's like The Pylon and talking about like the over critique that someone's faced, especially in media, I'm always scared that they're going to get an over generous edit and it will change like point of views. But it really didn't. Like she kind of let Hannah just take whatever she wanted to say and like make her own story out of it. And I thought it was just so, so well done.
One of the things about obviously Claire's book and the podcast is that it's very behind the scenes of this world that we all live in. You know what I mean? So I think that if you've ever wondered, like, what's it like to have every word, dissected, have people have so many opinions about you, be at the bottom of a pile all
if
those
you've
things,
wondered what it's
all
like,
of this stuff, it's going to tell you.
Yeah, and to be Hannah Ferguson at a time when the criticism is so ruthless and
feel so sick about that.
Just awful. And Claire did this interview and then the next week, probably one of the most kind of awful moments of Hannah Ferguson's career came and Claire sat down with her again, and that's why you get part 2. And I just think that the candidness, the generosity of Hannah to actually share it is really brave, because you do have these conversations with people in media when no one else is listening. So to put it on a public platform, I think is a really powerful thing.
Yeah, and we're living at a time right now where there are people just saying awful, heinous things about these young women. I can't. Anyway, it's very interesting.
It's so good.
So that's lots of things for you to read and listen to. There are more big books coming out this week that I'm sure we'll be recommending over the next few weeks too. But I think that's about it for today. A big thank you to all of you Outlouders for being here with us this week, as always, and to our fabulous team for putting the show together.
A big thank you to our team. I want to just give a very special shout out to our long-time executive producer, Emmeline Gazillis, who this week goes off to have her first baby, and that woman has smiled every day through that pregnancy.
Oh my God, she's amazing. I will miss Em so much because she is the calm heartbeat of this show, and we're so happy for her.
So we wish her the best of luck. We are going to miss her so much. Group executive producer, Ruth Devine. Our producer, Sasha Tannick.
Our senior audio producer is Leah Porges. Our video producer is Josh Green. And our junior content producers are Coco and Tessa.
Enjoy your long weekend if you're getting one, Outlouders.
Bye.
See ya.